Right, I'm pretty sure I'm live on YouTube. I just need to get sorted. On a tickety talk. Let's go live on there. Hello to everyone. How are you? Hi Joe. How are you? How's the kitten? Right, trying to get everything in place. I think we're okay. Find my reference. Not the wolf, that's something else. You wait, I'm not going to be able to find the reference now. It's got to be saved somewhere. Hi Gary. He has been neutered today. Oh, bless. Because he's been sick too. Oh, bless him. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. That one's no good. Just trying to find my reference. I'm very ill prepared. I apologise. We were getting signs of Amelie struggling, so I spent some time with her in the sitting room. Hi, Chris. Hi Evie, but it took me up to literally like 5 minutes ago, so. Hi everyone on TikTok. I am dual live feeding at the moment. So I'm live on TikTok and I'm live on YouTube because this is actually a tutorial that I run on both. So if it's something that you'd love to catch up on and actually have a go at doing this tutorial, you can go to my YouTube channel, go under the live feeds tab, and you'll see the last 5 weeks. So this is week 6 that we're doing. Hey Dan. I'm just opening my pad because she killed my pad off. Please don't be too noisy. There we go. Just so I can read comments, as it's always hard otherwise. He's got no furry potatoes left. Right, now I can read comments. I can move the phone so you have a little bit of a better view of when I'm doing the tutorial, but we're pretty much finished actually. There's not a huge amount left to do. It really is only this bottom part. I'm not doing very well at getting the phone in a good place, sorry. And my stupid stand is getting a bit floppy doppy. Hi Stephen. Right, I reckon we are pretty much all good to go. Are you, I know Gary, you draw along. What about you, Dan? Are you drawing along today, or are you watching and then catching up? That's actually quite funny, Dan. Again, I'm not going to remember what order I did anything in. There's loads of colours that I don't need. So let's put them away. Depending on how it all goes tonight, I might stay on TikTok and do another portion of the wolf. So if you haven't seen this, this is what I've been working on the TikTok lives. So I might do a bit more on this depending on how long this takes to finish tonight. We'll see how we go. Right, let's get all, it's pretty much all the cold greys, wasn't it? the dark sepias, the Payne's Grey, and my dark indigo. Sorry, my chair's really annoying me. I'm going to have to WD-40. The lighting's a little bit weird on YouTube right now. I can't tell if it might be a bit bright. That's a bit better, isn't it? Right, are we ready to go then? I think I'm going to grab my dark sepia. Hi BM. And I'm just going to block in where all the dark lines are in his fur, just a little bit. I'm not going to go overboard. Probably should have worked on this side first. I think we're getting a little bit of lag on YouTube. Yeah, it's really not going to take that long to do this bit now. It's quite straightforward. So again, I'm using dark sepia to just very lightly block in. The areas. There's a few lines in there that I haven't added into the line work that I put out for you guys. So just add these in as you see them. I've got a couple of edits to make on the new line workbook that I've been designing. There's just a couple of edits I need to do on the text and then it will be ready to go. So that's quite cool. It looks really nice actually. I'm really pleased with how it came out. I have a feeling we're probably looking at no more than about an hour. I think there must be some sort of issue with your YouTube settings. I do know that for lag between me talking, you hearing, asking questions and replying can be quite big if my latency is high, so I've had to put it on medium. It's the only way I can get it so it doesn't take forever to sound like I'm responding. Thank you Eskimo, thank you Secret, thank you Livy. Livy or Ivy? I couldn't see, I just saw very quickly. Although this one technically joins up one line, you can tell it's a developing line because he's a cub, so eventually that'll become more fuller. But we don't need to draw the whole lot in because you can't see it all. So make sure you're splitting up the areas where it's necessary. Right, I need to add a line in there. So you'll need to do the same if you're using my line work. That shape is slightly different. And then that comes up. It's got a little bit on the end there. Right, so that gives us the basis for working in those areas. So I'm going to reduce this line down on mine because it is quite dark. I'm just going to move the pad so I can get a better view. There we go. So has anybody else actually tried this? I think you should do something like blue and purple butterflies on black paper in pastels. Why, Erica? What have I done to offend you? Actually, I do think I have some anthracite left. Pretty sure I do. I am willing to sacrifice my sanity for your pleasure, and I will at some point do some pastel if you really want me to. When this is finished, I can put that in as the next one if you really want to see me suffer. You got the yellow one. I do think some are exactly the same. They're just different colours. So don't worry too much. I'm just going to answer a question on TikTok. Wild Planet Creations. Do you have any advice for people who can't work on a drawing one section at a time? Cover your work. This is something I used to do when I used to work on big format drawings. I won't do it now because I don't want to waste the paper. But get something roughly the size of your drawing and literally just cut out a square and only work on that section. If you can't see the rest, then you're not what's the word? You're not sort of trying to work on other things. So just work on the little section you've uncovered on the paper. Not only that, it helps protect your work against your hands. But if you just cut out a little slot, this is exactly what I used to do when I work on large format, and just work on that section at a time. Then each time you just cut out the next bit and then the next bit. Oh really? Okay, well should we do something like that then? Is that next week's planned? Okay, so we're just going to, I need to try and get rid of a bit more of that actually. Grab your cold grey one because that's what we'll base it with. Okay, and then pretty much the whole area you can go in and layer down with your cold grey one. Pretty sure it's one I've got, yes. Yeah, I mean, if you don't get into the habit of doing a section at a time, you do end up working all over the place. And it's actually a good way of teaching you how you end up layering your colours as well. But if you work here and then decide to work up there or vice versa, then you end up really mucking up the picture and the cleanliness of your canvas too. So when I come to do the fur, I'm going to stop here. This is the only section I'm going to do up until, and then I'll work across, because I don't want to put all this down and then have my hand over it. Just figured pastels on black would go down and show up easier than CP. Yeah, it does, yeah. Okay. Can you send me a message on admin, because you know I'll forget. And we'll do that for next week. It's been so long since I've used pastels. If I heave, I apologise, but it's gonna happen. Right, so we're just going to work on this section. So we're going to come in with our cold grey 3. And we're just going to start placing a few sticky out fur strands from the side. We don't want them too long. If they're too long, then his fur looks too long. Pastels are the most vile thing ever invented, second to chalk and talc. I think if I had to put it in any order, it would be talc, chalk, and pastel. Blech. Pastels are yes and no with regards to they're hard to work with. They're a beautiful medium to work with, and they produce some incredible results. Thank you, Izzy. But they are just disgusting. A lot of the time I end up heaving and I end up wearing gloves. But I have to use pastel pencils or pan pastels. I can't touch pastels unless it's actually making me feel quite ill. Unless it's got tissue or paper or something around it, because it's just disgusting. Okay, so we'll do that then. We'll look at some butterflies, and we'll look at doing some butterflies on, I'm pretty sure it's anthracite I've got. Let's have a look, ski. I can't think where all my pastel paper is, actually. It's this colour, which apparently is one of the worst they've produced, because it's actually quite difficult to work on, but I found it okay. I think I've only got little A5 sheets somewhere. I'll have to dig them out, Erica. Damn it. They are gross. And the noise they make is just, it gives me goosebumps and it makes me shudder. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so again, keep your first stroke in the same direction as what you are seeing. So what you'll find is from the chest it will go straight down, and then you'll work your way from sort of 12 o'clock around to 4 o'clock, 12 o'clock around to 7 o'clock. So that's the sort of position you want to be imagining when you're doing the fur. I apologise, my words are not coming out at all today. I've really struggled. My brain fog is at full pelt. Well, you've got a week to find paper. I have got loads of pastel paper, but just not black. And pastel wax, so expensive. Right, this little dark section here we can start working in. So I'm going to grab my dark sepia again. And we can start doing a bit more detail. So adding in the fur detail. Can you see okay on... Do you want me to zoom in on YouTube? Is that better? It looks like he's just come back from the vet and had a shave right now. My head is literally... So just work through little pencil strokes to indicate the fur. Do this little section here too. Remember, it's easier to go from your dark section into your light section rather than... Sorry, there's a lot of banging going on. rather than from, you know, going. Would someone like to come and talk for me, please? Apparently multitasking isn't in my spoons today. To a degree. Are you talking like the toned paper but the black? I have used... Hang on. I've used the paper on the 400 series. No, I've used the pastel on the 400 series. As a bit of an addition. So the whites, let me zoom out on YouTube because that's where you're asking. So the pastel is okay, but there's not a huge amount of tooth, and that's the problem. I'm trying to there. So you can see that it's white, but it's not very white because it doesn't have a huge amount of tooth in it. So you will struggle to get the depth with pastel because you just won't be able to layer as harshly or as thick as you can on really textured paper. I mean, you can try it, but... Oh, here you go, look. Lost it now. So there's it on the anthracite. You can see how bright white that is compared to what it's like on the three, well, this is the 400 series. As long as it's got a semi amount of tooth, you might pull some of it off, but I don't think you'll get the depth. You really do need textured paper when it comes to pastels. That's why you have to be so careful when you use pan pastels on smooth paper, because you don't give yourself enough tooth left over for the pencil. They all right?
Yeah.
I'd imagine if it's in the book like that, I imagine it's the 400 series. Hey Cheryl. Okay, so remember in the middle of these dark areas, you can just colour in so it's more solid. And then just bring your little pencil lines out to create the fur detail. The longer you pull the lines up, the longer the fur looks. Try and speed your process up a little bit because the movement will give you much more natural looking fur strokes. And then again with my cold grey 3, it's going to come out from that, so it will help the transition blend out. And I mean, from here on in, it really is rinse and repeat. So I'm not going to do a huge amount of talking. I'm just going to crack on with it. And the colours, really, I'll talk through each colour that I put in my hand. And if you have any questions, stop and ask. But I'm going to do it exactly like I used to do the Patreon tutorials. So I'll just get on with it in regular speed. So chat amongst yourselves, but yeah, please flag up if you have any questions. PS, all my hair's being cut off tomorrow. Well, not all, but a good portion. A very good portion. If I'm brave enough, I'll do a little video. So I'm just going to keep blending out, because around here he is actually quite patchy from each section, so I'm just going to keep working around that. I'd love to be able to suit bald, in all honesty, because it would really help a lot of issues. My hair drives me mad, which is why it's up permanently. Well, I've got cold grey 3. Hi Sheila, thank you. If you notice under this bit, he's actually quite smooth. So the transition from his stripe into his light fur is relatively smooth. So at this point, I would probably look at using your cold grey and just push some of the wax colour down into the cold grey area, so it softens the edge of it rather than you adding more colour. Took me about 15 years to be able to cut my mum's hair, and it wasn't until she was in hospital very poorly. She was like, look, I've had enough and now cut it. And I cut it, it used to be down to her bum, and I cut it up to her shoulders. Hi Silly, thank you. Right, I'm going to swap to my, I think I'm going to go straight in with my dark indigo, wherever I put that. I'll just get a drink in a minute, hint hint. Or if you could just go in a glass. He's looking at me funny. No, I can't want to be perfect. So dark indigo. The light's really hitting in an awkward way today for some reason. I thought the thing had broken earlier, but it hadn't, thankfully. I think it might be better directly over it. How's that? I don't know what that's like for TikTok. That actually looks better on YouTube. Yeah, she hadn't had it cut in years. And again, what you can do is just use your cold grey just to pull some of the dark colour down or up, and it just helps that transition become much softer. So we'll work on this one. So again, just making sure you're following the direction. I've been studying realism for almost 6 years now. We're close to the 6-year mark. I'm certainly no expert, but I tend to teach in the ways that I find easiest, not necessarily what's correct. Oh yeah, how you getting on? Shading in the middle. I've got dark sepia in my hand, by the way, if I did forget to mention it. Good. Is the radio on or something?
No, telly.
Just got to be careful Johnny doesn't pick anything up that's copyright.
Good.
Like the music or anything. Can you hear the TV? Doesn't matter so much on TikTok, it's more YouTube I need to worry about. Yeah, see, that's why I can't get on with vellum. I've never been able to get on with vellum as much because the tooth drives me crazy. You have to work so much harder, in my opinion, to get rid of the tooth. Losing already, are we? Dark indigo. Sorry, you can see me being really uncouth on YouTube, but I need a drink. No, and with earphones. Oh, okay. He's turned it off anyway and it's dropped. Yeah, after 7 or 8 layers, I feel like I'm ripping up the tooth in it. Oh, right, okay. But you're finding that with the smooth, that's not happening. Yeah, I don't think smooth gets enough credit, actually. I think it needs more credit. Right, I'm going to swap to the Payne's Grey. And we can start using the Payne's Grey just to get some little darker sections in through the fur. You don't need tons of it. Again, keep your pencil lines short. Oh yeah, you gotta love the smooth Bristol. All these people that say you can't layer on it. I'm going to come down and darken this little section here because it needs to be a bit darker than up here. So while I've got the Payne's Grey, I'm just going to add a few more deets. Back to Cold Grey 2. Because he's quite light down this portion. Dark sepia. You can, honestly, all you got to do is just keep practicing. Warm grade 3, cold grade 3. The art of getting better at art is not giving up. You have to keep going. Anything that you want to learn, like walking when you're a baby, if you gave up at the first hurdle, you wouldn't be walking now. Payne's grey. I'm going to grab my no, I'm not, my buff titanium and my eraser. Oh my god. Oh, my sharpener. Damn it. Which is really full. God, doesn't time fly, Erica? Right, and blend over. Get it nice and soft. Don't push too hard, Gary. Gentle. Just glide it over and let the wax do the job. You don't need to put tons of pressure on when you are blending. And then you get this really cute, smooth, fluffy look. Look at that. Again, it's rinse and repeat, so I'm just going to go through the colours. I feel really bad when I'm not talking doing this, but I know that you guys that have done lots of patrons with me know that it's just really the easiest method. I love how you'll know who'll be doing what. Not too hard, Gary. I said something and he actually told me last week, I think it was, that he was literally just about to do what I told him not to do. So there you go. You have to get it. Honestly, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Right, warm grey 3. No, cold grey 3. Damn it. Cold grey 3. Hi, Neil. I keep thinking it's raining, but it's not. It's Coffee Man's computer. So is there anything in this tutorial I haven't covered well enough, you haven't understood, you want me to clarify? Speak up now. I nearly brought a hamster home today. Oh my god. If hubby wasn't with me, if Coffee Man wasn't with me, I would have been walking out that shop with a brand new bloody hamster. Oh, they were so beautiful. Do you think if I built a house at the back of the garden that Coffee Man could live there and I'll just have my menagerie in the house? I haven't said anything to Amelie either because I know it would break her heart that I'd even consider it. And I didn't. I know. I know. But it doesn't matter how much sense somebody talks to me about it. It's another animal. Oh, don't, Erica. He was just, he, she, it was this. Okay, if I had to call it, a colour, it was a warm grey 3. It was a warm grey 3 with a little bit of dark sepia down his cheeks. Just 2 little lines. These dead straight little lines down the side of his cheeks. Oh, so close. It's in Tunbridge as well, so it's a drive away, and of course I don't drive, so I can't go back there. I don't know that I think she might freak with stick insects. Although we have a nice privet bush up the back of the garden. They could all live on there, couldn't they? Well, I'm going to finish this section with the warm grade 3 while it's in my hand. If you are not doing the same pace that I am doing, can you try? I know obviously a lot of you are going to be doing this after, but I know at least one of you is doing it now. So if you're able to keep up with the pace that I'm doing it, even better. What I'd like you to get in the habit of by the end of this tutorial is to be able to flow through your portraits quicker without losing any detail, of course. Dark sepia. Or you could catch up. Am I being a bit slow? Sort of all over the place, all the little marks and stuff that he has down here. I'm building up to your speed, Bon. I keep pace, but then I need a break after. It's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, actually, it's very, very good that you do. I'm really naughty and I don't, and that's a bad thing. As you've known when I've sat there for 5 hours. Dark indigo. So, those of you that weren't here earlier, I have worked on the workbook. The workbook is now complete. It needs a little bit of a change from some of the text because it went a bit hiccupy when I transferred the text over. And it will be ready to buy, but it's 25 pages. And in the workbook is reference photos, line work, practice sheets, colour palettes, practice eyes, and 3 bonus line works at the end with no references, so you can just colour any colour you want. Warm grey 3. Okay, that's more of my money getting spent. Sorry, Dan. It does look good though. It does look good. I've never done one before, and I'm quite proud of myself actually of how professional it looks. Payne's grey. I was saying that the workbook's almost ready, Cheryl. I've just got to do a couple of changes on it and then it's ready. So it's a 25-page workbook with 2 pages of colour palettes for inspiration. It's got 2 bonus line works with no reference. You can colour them however you like. It's also got 4 practice eyes. so you can practice your colour palettes on the eyes. I think I go slow because I'm not 100% sure what colour needs to go down next. I think you probably know more instinctively than you think you do, and I think actually the quicker you go at it, the less time you have to think, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think overthinking can be a bit problematic when it comes to art. You know, the 90% of art is the creating. And I think when we get into the point of overthinking it, it can, I don't know, I think it messes with our creativity and flow. Oh, she'll have plenty left. She's been packing up orders. She's going to be doing all the... Do you want me to let her know? Because she's down tomorrow. She's doing all the postage labels here. I can always get her to put some on hold for you. Oh, how has it been today? I can't believe I forgot. Happy birthday to anybody whose birthday it is. Again, I think we can afford to go a little bit darker in this section. Just build that up. Yeah, it really does. I totally get it because it's an easy thing to do. I wish I could just like chuck it into the air and go, here, have some, because to a point you have to not give a shit, excuse my language, but you have to not worry about the outcome as such, even when it's somebody's portrait. I know you're worrying about the outcome at the end, but if you overthink it, you're gonna overdo it. So yeah, you just need to take a bit of a step back. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to have to start again. It is just paper and pencil at the end of the day. Yes, it may have taken you about 50 hours and you will want to cry over it, but thank you, Pepe. I wanted to design something a bit different from my shoes poster, although I am going to redo the shoe poster with the new shoes that I've made because thank you, because I want to get it looking better. Yeah, I will do what I can to raise awareness as much as possible. That's my problem. I wonder too much about colour I need to use. If you I know most of you have, but if you watch and have a look at the colours I use the most, you'll just use them in every portrait, so you just get used to it. You really do. As much as Erica says hi.
Hello.
As much as pet portraits can be very draining, they're actually very good because you do them so regularly. You get used to the colours in every animal, and I think that helps, and that transitions when you then to go on and do wildlife. Thank you. You haven't got a very good view of it, but this is a teaching live stream, so I tend to have you a bit closer than I normally would. So I'm blending over with the buff titanium. For those of you that haven't got buff titanium yet and will be getting it, I cannot stress enough, do not overblend with it. It is so waxy and so creamy that if you overblend with it, it will fill your tooth really, really quickly. No worries. I don't even know if she has them in her Etsy. Oh, she picked up my backing cards today. They look really awesome. Okay, so that's softened all that fur out. So for the YouTube lot, I'm going to zoom you right out so you can get a bit of a rough look how we're looking so far. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think he looks a bit flat down here. So we need to come in when we do this middle section. We need to come in and darken this little bit here. I think. And looking at his chest, he actually has a bit of a yellow tinge just here. So I'm wondering if I might bring out the cream. And I do mean the cream, not the ivory, Gary. I'm trying to think. I thought I had the cream out. I know I did because I kept mucking up. Where did the cream go? That's an ivory. That's not green. Come on, who's run off with my cream? What have I done with it? It's too warm to be. That's not funny. I'll find my cream. And I don't mean the edible kind. Might have to use you. It'll be a good alternative. On the polys, please use cream. I'm pretty sure. What was the book called that you were part of? Oh, I don't even know if you can get hold of that anymore. There was 2 magazines that I did a tutorial for, and the book was how to draw wild birds. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can find. I reckon Gary ran off with it after I kept getting the name wrong. You might. It's Anne Kohlberg. You know Anne Kohlberg, don't you? She's quite big in all the groups. If you look up Anne Kohlberg, how to draw birds. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a pencil colour. I can't find it. It's going to be somewhere so blatantly obvious. It's going to be like right in my face. I can't find it. I'm going to have to use my luminance equivalent. But again, you use cream if you have it. Hi, Akmar. So very quickly, I'm going to just glaze over the top of his middle section, and I'm not going to do it very hard. And the colour difference will be very minimal, but it's enough for me to know that it's there. So it's just slightly a bit yellower. You'll probably have a bit better luck with the cream than I am with this one. But it just tints it. You can just see how that's slightly warmer than over here. Oh, it's really warm in here. That's all right. I knew it wouldn't be that busy today because of the football, so it's fine. It's all good. Right, Payne's grey. I'm just going to start building up a bit more shadow. Hi, thank you. I was subject to watching whatever Emily wants to watch on YouTube today, and she's constantly watching this same YouTuber, and it's just driving me crazy. Trying to get the camera back in the right position. Well, might as well just literally, like, there's that much space between me and the camera. Do you know what have you seen them? Do you know what ones you want? I know Litland's not been particularly herself lately, and she's been going through a hell of a lot with mortgages, house moving. Millie is under diagnosis at the moment for autism. So yeah, she's got a lot going on at the minute. Right, I am going to blend with what you would blend with the cream. I think mine is, can't even see what it is actually. Oh, Primrose, which is pretty close. I'm just going to blend it over again where it needs to be that little tint of yellow. Well, if she's taken any photos, I'll get her to send them, or transfer them over to me tomorrow so you can have a look. Stick with the Payne's Grey actually. Just going to add a bit more detail around here. Looks really muddy and dark through the YouTube. She has got pins as well, so they'll be up in the Etsy shop. And they do look really cute. Going to form a little bit more of a shadow under this section here. And I think I'm going to zoom out in a minute on YouTube. Have a look. I think what I might do is bring up some colour here as it's a bit too dark for me. So I'm going to this section here. It's going to try and lift some of that colour. Then you can just use your white pencil. I will use my white luminance. I'm just going to blend over the colour that I've just lifted. Cold Grey 3. Just going to darken slightly around it. There you go, just lifts the colour slightly. I'm not up for being 100% perfect, to be honest. It's too warm in here. I'm going to lighten that bit. Are you warm or is it just me?
No, it's warm. Oh, it's too cold.
Payne's Grey. Hi, sorry if I don't see all your comments. I'm dual feeding at the moment over TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, she's been really busy, bless her. She normally finishes work around 9, doesn't she? Hey, Rob. Right, Cold Grey 1. fill up the rest of the space now. Let's check. I shouldn't really need to zoom you in any more than that. Okay, his middle section's a bit lighter, so I'm going to do that with the warm grey 2 rather than the 3. So it might not look like we're adding much, but as long as we keep that space in between, it will help build up. So remember third direction, so we're pretty much going straight down. But as we come around to this section, we need to start turning them out. How much can you guys hear? You have been a very good girl, Erica. Not my breathing, now my mouth is literally right next to the microphone. But how much can you hear of the pencil on YouTube? That clapping was Coffee Man fly trapping. Oh, it's not a dog. It's a frog. Sound the same, not quite. Bring my little microphone in, look. You ready? Warm grey 2. No, cold grey 2. Crap. Cold grey 2. Honestly, I'm always getting the names mixed up. Anyway, I'm going to stop doing weird stuff with my microphone. I just wanted you to see how pretty it was. Cold grey 3. We're just going to blend up into where the cold grey 2 was, just to make the transition smoother. It's an amazing microphone. So much better than the snowball I had.
It is impressive. Shiny.
So you should get it just nicely blending in. So if you bring your cold grey 1 back in again and just blend it over the 2 areas. Bye Cheryl. Have a good rest of the evening. Dark sepia. Coffee Man's got to go buy some coffee later. We went out twice today. Well, not twice, 2 different places, and we both forgot coffee. Thank you. Right, we sort of need to blend some of these lines in, so when you've got the dark sepia in your hand, just do a little bit of glazing over some of the areas just to sort of match it in, but without it being obvious. Really bad way of explaining that, but hopefully it made some sort of sense. Let me turn you a little bit, see if you can see a better. I'm dual feeding, dual living, so this is my camera at the moment that's doing it on YouTube. So yeah, I'm multitasking. So the images that are in the new workbook that I'll be releasing are, I'm going to try and remember, the magpie, the scullipus, the owl, the turtles, God, what else was it? The lion, no, the tiger. There's a frog in there, the seahorse, the scarab. So there's a few in there that you get to choose. Cold grey 2. It's going to blend over what I've done. And that way it softens all that out. Oh, bless you, Rob. I should be used to Bonnita's art by now, but I'm always blown away. Thank you. You haven't seen my wolf yet. He's green. Dark indigo. Dark sepia. Warm grey 3. Right, I'm still slowing down. I'm going to start working at my pace now. Payne's grey. Dark sepia. Warm grey 1. Cold grey 2. God's sake. Dark sepia. Payne's grey. Buff titanium. Yeah, I've got loads and loads of tutorials on my YouTube channel. Links in my bio. Dark sepia. Cold grey 3. You'll have to apologise if I'm missing anybody, as this is actually a tutorial running on TikTok as well as YouTube. Dark sepia. Cold grey 2, 3. God's sake. So you can see the difference now between how much lighter this is compared to this patch here, and that's what we needed to make sure that we got in. But it looks like it needs a little bit of work just down here. So Payne's grey. Still Payne's grey. Dark sepia. Yeah, not too much more, Ben. We're going to be working on pastel butterfly next week. That'll probably be just a sit and draw type thing rather than a tutorial, because not everyone's going to have pastels. So cold grey 3. It's going to start filling in this side. Thank you. Have a good evening. Cold grey 2. Dark sepia. Dark indigo. Payne's grey. dark sepia. It's going to glaze over that little section. In fact, I might even bring in the yeah, burnt ochre. Cold grey 3. Buff titanium. Payne's grey. Hi Imelda, thank you. Hi Georgina. Dark sepia. Cold grey 3. Dark sepia. Dark indigo. Payne's grey. Hair changes direction around his foot, or leg I should say. of titanium. Hi Hayley, thank you. Payne's grey. Of titanium. Dark indigo. Dark sepia. I'll grab my slice tool if I can find it, which I probably can't because I need it, which means I can't find it. It did not magically appear in front of me. There it is, hiding under my pad. Right, just going to pull through a little bit of the light across here. It's a tiny bit heavy on mine. It's a bit better. I can clean that up with the white or the buff. Payne's grey. I think we are there. I don't think there's much more to do at all. I think I could call this done. Oh dear. Okay, let's zoom out on YouTube so you can get a proper look. I need to move the lighting, it's really quite horrendous. I am going to tilt it slightly because you'll see, you can see a lot more of the detail when I tilt it slightly. But I pretty much think we're done. I think we're done on the, and I'm really happy actually with how he's come out. So time for the satisfying tape peel. Don't forget, if you are taking part, if you're on Facebook, come and join the Bonnita Doodles Creatives group and come and share if you have taken part in this tutorial. For those of you who are on TikTok, you can learn how to draw this from the very beginning. If you head over to my YouTube channel, the links are in the YouTube lives. You need to go on the YouTube lives ticks. It makes such a difference when you tilt it. Look at the colour difference just from tilting it. It's insane, actually. Let me see if I can adjust the camera without me completely losing connection. So let me tilt it. There, look at that. Really happy with that. You'll see my red chair there. Turn the light up now. Okay, let's get peely peely. That's the satisfying bit. Top tip, if you're peeling tape off of your drawing, don't go like that. Turn it so it's folded like a triangle, 45-degree angle, and then slowly pull and keep your tape at that angle, and it is much less likely to tear your paper. And of course use low tack stuff. And if you're anything like me, I keep mine attached to the front of the drawers so I can reuse it later on. And now you've peeled the tape away, you can see just how dirty your paper gets. One last thing to do. Let's watch a cat come running in. Yeah, if you stay there, Hayley, I'm just going to say goodbye to my YouTube family. I am staying on TikTok for probably an hour and a bit. And I'm going to be working on the wolf. So if you want to watch any of that in action, come and join me over on TikTok. So TikTok, stay with me. And YouTube, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much for having the patience to sit and watch through quite a few hours actually of him. But have a good evening. And next week I will look at some references. If any of you guys are in the group and you want me to draw a specific type of butterfly, just tag me in the group and I'll have a look. But yeah, next week we'll work with some pastels. So everyone on YouTube, have a good rest of the evening, morning, afternoon, whichever it is when you're watching. And I shall see you in the next live. Bye.